Times like these demand strong measures and character. I treasure my freedom. That's why I'm voting yes.
Paid for by Americans for America.
As a parent, I'm concerned about our community. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about what's right for America. Join me in voting no. I support our troops.
Paid for by Citizens for the United States.
Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Frank Lloyd Wright, John Lennon. I'm voting yes. Oh, and the troops? I really support them.
Paid for by Rich White Americans, LLC.
You're known by the company you keep. It's about family values. It's about our kids, our pets, and senior care. Show your true colors and really support the troops by voting no. Vote no.
Paid for by poor, ethnic, undocumented immigrants.
First of all, I support our troops more than any other spokesperson. In fact, if I were younger, I'd probably enlist. That's why I'm voting yes. And the kids and seniors? Yeah, they're important too.
Paid for by the Mel Gibson Anti-Defamation League.
I don't have a Purple Heart, but I have a purple shirt. Cher gave this to me on our recent USO tour. You know, the troops really need our support. They wish they could sit in a recliner, watch TV, drink beer, and smoke pot like the people who vote yes. But they can't. They can't. It's important that we all vote no.
Paid for by Cher.
Look, I don't smoke pot anymore, and my recliner's broken. That's why I'm voting yes. Statistically, people who vote no commit more crimes than the average American. I'd say vote yes. And I don't color my hair. I'm voting yes.
Paid for by Lawyers on Crack.
I'm a nuclear physicist, but I gave it up to stay home with my kids. Because I'm a woman, and with me, family comes first. Mom! Shut the hell up! Doing a commercial! Yeah, I color my hair, but the colors in here stay true. Okay? Red, white, and blue. Vote no.
Paid for by Save Our Lesbians.
I'm an assistant regional supervisor, an assistant to the assistant, and it's an important job, okay? I see these people voting no. They're shoplifters, and they jaywalk, and litter. I support our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Vote yes.
Paid for by your tax dollars.
I really support our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan, and eventually North Korea, maybe Iran, and the ghetto, and the border, wherever they're needed. Join me in voting no.
Paid for by Up With Humans.
The youth of America is concerned about our economy. That's why I'm voting yes, along with bands like Nickelback, Pennywise, 50 Cents, Tupac, M&M's, and Bono.
Dude, who's Bono?
Vote yes.
Paid for by Koran Thumping Baptists.
Bono's Irish. He can't vote, but you can. Help our youth. Vote no to stop the flow of illegal immigrants from Ireland and other South American countries. Vote no.
Paid for by the Mongol Hordes.
We all remember Katrina. Don't let it happen again. Not in my backyard. Vote yes.
Paid for by Concerned Botanists.
I'm not a veteran, but I found one. Vote no.
Paid for by Vegan Veterinarians for Veterans.
I'm not saying if you vote no, you'll be left behind in the election. One word. Rapture. Vote yes.
Paid for by the Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Jesus was homeless. Vote no.
Paid for by Little Elves.
Everything in here? All true. I'm voting yes.
Paid for by Dan Brown.
People who vote yes are sometimes found late at night with sheep. Be a different kind of shepherd. Vote no.
Paid for by the Congressional Page Protection Fund.
WWJV. What would Jesus vote? Yes.
Paid for by you.
I wore this shirt, so you'd vote no.
Paid for by Elvis Lives.
I'm wearing this shirt, so you'll vote yes.
Paid for by the Knights Who Say. Paid for by Dick.
I know someone who's voting no. She's got a purple shirt. She's an alcoholic. She's got varicose veins. Vote yes!
Paid for by the Illuminati.
I know someone who's voting yes, and he has erectile dysfunction. A lot. Vote no.
Paid for by Cosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Vote no.
Vote yes. Shut the hell up.
Bitch.
I know you are, but what am I?
Look, a lot has been said about this. I don't need the government telling me what I can or I cannot do in my own bedroom. I'm voting yes.
How well do you sleep at night? We'll all sleep better when you vote no. Good night, honey.
I'm the filmmaker, and I endorse this film.